Around 3000 BCE, humans believed they had to follow the will of the gods, and a theocratic system emerged where priestly classes governed society through temples and altars. They established order toward a silent being in a silent manner. In this era, order was expressed through stairways built toward the heavens and through the form of silence. From around 500 BC, aristocracy became institutionalized, in which a person's position was determined by their birth and bloodline. From the moment of birth, the distance one could approach was already decided. Order was materialized through distance, and blood became authority. Around the same period, ancient empires saw the rise of emperor-centered rule, where power was concentrated in one man's face and command. To see the face was to promise obedience. The essence of this era was that the face became God. After 500 CE, the feudal system took root, where kings divided land and lords governed both people and territory. Whose land you lived on determined to whom you belonged. Land became the unit of power, and loyalty was defined across space. From the 1400s, the system of absolute monarchy emerged, in which the king mimicked divine authority, and his body and daily life became the center of the state. The king did not speak, yet everyone waited for his gaze. The key of this era, the king was the shadow of God. After the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s, capitalism spread and money and exchange restructured the order of society, turning humans into units of labor. Everything had a price, and every relationship was translated into numbers. Time became wage, and people became production units. In the 20th century, nationalism absorbed the individual, demanding uniformity and obedience. The state was invisible, but present everywhere. People became members of a collective by erasing themselves. From the 1970s, the era of neoliberalism arrived, where the market judged everything. God had disappeared, and the market made the decisions. Neoliberalism is the institutionalized sense that the market is God, and value is determined by exchange. Anyone could be sold, and anyone could be replaced. This perception became the foundation of social order. And since the 2000s, human choice has faded, and platforms and algorithms have silently arranged people, with order operating quietly within data. No one gave commands, yet everyone was in their assigned place. The algorithm functioned like a silent god, and humans only chose among what had already been arranged. Theocracy, the structure of sky and silence. Circa 1000 BC, 500 BC. When gods ruled over humans. Theocracy is a system in which gods do not speak, and this silence itself becomes a structure of perception. Humans did not speak directly to the gods. Instead, they constructed the divine through form, silence, steps, and repetition. Order resembled the sky, and the closer one drew to it, the fewer the words, until only structure remained. The sky was above, the temple stood high, and though the inside was empty, everyone believed. It was an era ruled not by command, but by silence. That is theocracy. People feared the sky. We could not know its will, and those who claimed to understand it became kings. Priests performed rituals, and the king stood as the mediator between heaven and humankind. His words became divine. If the rains didn't come, the ritual was at fault. If the harvest failed, it was the people's sin. The king was the hand that delivered punishment, and the gods preserved authority in silence. Cities began with temples. Like the Tower of Babel, the desire to reach the heavens stacked stone upon stone to build a society. From atop it, humans divided classes in the name of the gods. The priest moved between life and death. He read the stars to make calendars and assigned meaning to thunder. People bowed before him, tilled the land, and offered their grain. Theocracy was not politics. It was religion. Life itself was ritual, and ritual itself was governance. Humans did not make their own judgments. Instead, they followed the interpretations of those who claimed to read the sky. There were no maps. Order was maintained by divine will. There were no codified systems. Memory preserved them. The word of the gods was always the final word. But then iron appeared, and horses began to run. One day, others came, on horseback, serving different gods. They brought new weapons and new deities, and their kings wore human faces, not divine ones. That was when people first began to ask, why does the will of our God not prevail beyond our borders? And so, theocracy collapsed. The age ruled by heaven ended, and the age ruled by humans began. Gods did not vanish. They simply ceased to be the language of power. Gods remained in prayers, while power shifted to laws, armies, metal, and hierarchy. People still feared, but no longer the sky. Now they feared other people. Ziggurat. People tried to ascend to the heavens. Their ascent was built of stone and mud, layer upon layer, mimicking the sky. The ziggurat was the dwelling of the divine, a place unreachable by man. Below were markets, livestock, and the noise of daily life, but the higher one climbed, the quieter it became, until only silence remained. Its shape resembled a pyramid, but unlike pyramids, there was no tomb at the top. Instead, a small chamber. It was said to be the seat of the gods. No one entered, not because they were forbidden, but because they could not. The room was empty, and in that emptiness lay its sanctity. Each morning, the priest climbed the steps. He held incense in silence. Wind rose with him, lifting his robes and carrying the scent. With each step, the noise of the earth fell away, and the presence of the sky grew closer. The ziggurat stood at the heart of the city, yet felt as though it were beyond it. It marked both the end and the beginning of life. Sacrifices for the dead, omens for the new year, everything descended from above. No one had seen inside, but everyone believed. God was not seen but presumed present. Belief was cemented between bricks, and power was stacked with each step. Architecture that reached for the sky was a confession. Humans understood they were below. To climb was not to conquer, it was to submit.